Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsavituravareniam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, my dear friends. Namaskar. In this video, I am going to describe Yogatattva Upanishad of Krishna, Yajurved. I shall now describe Yogatattva, Yoga truth for the benefit of yogins who are freed from all sins through the hearing and the studying of it. The Supreme Purusha called Vishnu, who is the great yogi, the great being, and the great tapasvin, is seen as a lamp in the path of the truth. The grandfather Brahma, having saluted the Lord of the universe, Vishnu, and having paid him due respects, asked him thus, "Pray, explain to us the truth of yoga, which includes in it the 8 subservients to which Hrishikesha, the Lord of the senses, or Vishnu, replied thus, Listen, I shall explain its truth. All souls are immersed in happiness and sorrow through the snare of Maya. Kaivalya, the supreme seat, is the path which gives them emancipation, which rends asunder the snare of Maya, which is the destroyer of birth, old age, and disease, and which enables one to overcome death. There are no other paths to salvation. Those who go round the net of Shastras are deluded by that knowledge. It is impossible even for the Devas to describe that indescribable state. How can that which is self-shining be illuminated by the Shastras? That only which is without parts and stains and which is quiescent beyond all and free from decay becomes the Jiva self on account of the results of past virtues and sins. How did that which is the seat of Paramatma, is eternal and above the state of all existing things, and is of the form of wisdom and without stains, attain the state of Jiva? A bubble arose in it as in water, and in this bubble arose Ahankara. To it arose a ball of body made of the 5 elements and bound by dhatus. Know that to be Jiva, which is associated with happiness and misery, and hence is the term Jiva applied to Paramatma, which is pure. That Jiva is considered to be the Kevala alone, which is freed from the stains of passion, anger, fear, delusion, greed, pride, lust, birth, death, miserliness, swoon, giddiness, hunger, thirst, ambition, shame, fright, heart-burning, grief, and gladness. So I shall tell you the means of destroying these sins. How could jnana, capable of giving moksha, arise? Certainly without yoga. And even yoga becomes powerless in securing moksha when it is devoid of jnana. So the aspirant after emancipation should practice firmly both yoga and jnana. The cycle of birth and death comes only through ajnana and perishes only through jnana. Jnana alone was originally, it should be known as the only means of salvation. That is jnana through which one cognizes in himself the real nature of Kaivalya as the supreme seat, the stainless, the partless, and of the nature of Satchidananda, without birth, existence, and death, and without motion and jnana. Now I shall proceed to describe yoga to you. Yoga is divided into many kinds on account of its actions, viz. Mantra Yoga, Laya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Raja Yoga. There are 4 states common to all these, which Arambha, Ghata, Prichya, and Nispatti. O Brahma, I shall describe these to you. Listen attentively. One should practice the mantra along with its matrikas and proper intonations of the sounds and others for a period of 12 years. Then he gradually obtains wisdom along with the siddhis such as anima, etc. Persons of weak intellect who are the least qualified for yoga practice this. The second Laya Yoga tends towards the absorption of the chitta and is described in myriads of ways, one of which is one should contemplate upon the Lord who is without parts, even while walking, sitting, sleeping, or eating. This is called Laya Yoga. Now, hear the description of Hatha Yoga. This yoga is said to possess the following 8 subservients: yama, forbearance; niyama, religious observance; asana, posture; pranayama, suppression of breath; pratyahara, subjugation of the senses; dharana, concentration; dhyana, the contemplation on Hari in the middle of the eyebrows; and samādhi, that is the state of equality. Mahamudra, Mahabandha and Khechri, Jalandhar, Udyan and Moolbandha, uttering without intermission Parnava Om for a long time and hearing the exposition of the supreme truths, Vajroli, Amroli and Sahajoli, which form a triad. All these separately I shall give a true description of. O four-faced one Brahma, among the duties of Yama, moderate eating and not others, forms the principal factor, and non-injury is most important in Niyama. The chief postures are four, which Siddha, Padma, Simha and Bhadra. During the early stages of practice, the following obstacles take place. O four-faced one, which laziness, idle talk, association with bad characters, acquisition of mantras, etc., playing with metals, alchemy, and women, etc., and mirage, women, etc., and mirage. A wise man, having found out these, should abandon them by the force of his virtues. Then, assuming Padma posture, he should practice pranayama. He should erect a beautiful monastery with a very small opening and with no crevices. It should be well pasted with cow dung or with white cement. It should be carefully freed from bugs, mosquitoes and lice. It should be swept well every day with a broom. It should be perfumed with good odors, and fragrant resins should burn in it. Having taken his seat, neither too high nor too low, on a cloth, deerskin and kusha grass spread one over the other, the wise man should assume the Padma posture and, keeping his body erect and his hands folded in respect, should salute his tutelary deity. Then, closing the right nostril with his right thumb, he should gradually draw in the air through the left nostril. Having restrained it as long as possible, he should again expel it through the right nostril slowly and not very fast. Then, filling the stomach through the right nostril, he should retain it as long as he can and then expel it through the left nostril, drawing the air through that nostril by which he expels. He should continue this in uninterrupted succession. The time taken in making a round of the knee with the palm of the hand, neither very slowly nor very rapidly, and snapping the fingers once is called a matra. drawing the air through the left nostril for about 16 matras and having retained it within for about 64 matras, one should expel it again through the right nostril for about 32 matras. Again fill the right nostril as before and continue the rest. Practice cessation of breath 4 times daily, viz. At sunrise, noon, sunset and midnight till 80 times are reached. By a continual practice for about 3 months, the purification of the nadis takes place. When the nadis have become purified, certain external signs appear on the body of the yogi. I shall proceed to describe them. They are lightness of the body, brilliancy of complexion, increase of the gastric fire, leanness of the body, and along with these, absence of restlessness in the body. The proficient in yoga should abandon the food detrimental to the practice of yoga. He should give up salt, mustard, things sour, hot, pungent, or bitter, vegetables, asafoetida, etc., worship of fire, women, walking, bathing at sunrise, emancipation of the body for fast, etc. During the early stages of practice, food of milk and ghee is ordained. Also food consisting of wheat, green pulse and red rice are said to favor the progress. Then he will be able to retain his breath as long as he likes. By thus retaining the breath as long as he likes, Kevala Kumbhaka, cessation of breath without inspiration and expiration is attained. When Kevala Kumbhaka is attained by one and thus expiration and inspiration are dispensed with, there is nothing unattainable in the 3 worlds to him. In the commencement of his practice, sweat is given out, he should wipe it off. Even after that, owing to the retaining of the breath, the person practicing it gets phlegm. Then by an increased practice of dharana, sweat arises. As a frog moves by leaves, so the yogi sitting in the Padma posture moves on the earth. With a further increased practice, he is able to rise from the ground. He, while seated in Padma posture, levitates. There arises to him the power to perform extraordinary feats. He does or should not disclose to others his feats of great powers in the path. Any pain, small or great, does not affect the yogi. Then excretions and sleep are diminished, tears resume in the eye, salivary flow, sweat and bad smell in the mouth do not arise in him. With a still further practice, he acquires great strength by which he attains bhuchara siddhi, which enables him to bring under his control all the creatures that tread this earth, tigers, sarvas, elephants, wild bulls or lions, die on being struck by the palm of the yogi. He becomes as beautiful as the god of love himself. All females being taken up with the beauty of his person will desire to have intercourse with him. If he so keeps connection, his virility will be lost. So, abandoning all copulation with women, he should continue his practice with great assiduity by the preservation of the semen. A good odor pervades the body of the yogi. Then, sitting in a secluded place, he should repeat Parnava Om with 3 Paluta matras or prolonged intonation for the destruction of his former sins. The mantra Parnava Om destroys all obstacles and all sins. By practicing thus, he attains the Arambha, beginning or first state. Then follows the Ghata, second state, one which is acquired by constantly practicing expression of breath. When a perfect union takes place between prana and apana, manas and buddhi, or jivatma and paramatma without opposition, it is called the Ghata state. I shall describe its signs. He may now practice only for about 1/4 of the period prescribed for practice before. By day and evening, let him practice only for a yama, 3 hours. Let him practice Kevla Kumbhaka once a day, drawing away completely the organs from the objects of sense during cessation of breath is called Pratyahara. Whatever he sees with his eyes, let him consider as Atman. Whatever he hears with his ears, let him consider as Atma. Whatever he smells with his nose, let him consider as Atma. Whatever he tastes with his tongue, let him consider as Atma. Whatever the yogi touches with his skin, let him consider as Atma. The yogi should thus unvaried gratify his organs of sense for a period of one yama every day with a great effort. Then various wonderful powers are attained by the yogi, such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, ability to transport himself to great distances within a moment, great power of speech, ability to take any form, ability to become invisible, and the transmutation of iron into gold when the former is smeared over with his excretion. That yogi who is constantly practicing yoga attains the power to levitate. Then should the wise yogi think that these powers are great obstacles to the attainment of yoga, and so he should never take delight in them. The king of yogis should not exercise his powers before any person whatsoever. He should live in the world as a fool, an idiot, or a deaf man in order to keep his powers concealed. His disciples would without doubt request him to show his powers for the gratification of their own desires. One who is actively engaged in one's duties forgets to practice yoga, so he should practice day and night yoga without forgetting the words of the Guru. Thus possess the Ghata state to one who is constantly engaged in yoga practice. To one, nothing is gained by useless company, since thereby he does not practice yoga. So one should with great effort practice yoga. Then by this constant practice is gained the Parichya state, the third state. Vayu or breath through arduous practice pierces along with Agni the Kundalini through thought and enters the Susmana uninterrupted. When one's chitta enters Susmana along with prana, it reaches the high seat of the head, probably along with prana. There are the five elements which Prithvi, Apas, Agni, Vayu and Akas. To the body of the five elements there is the fivefold dharana. From the feet to the knees is said to be the region of Prithvi, is four-sided in shape, is yellow in color, and has the varna or letter La. Carrying the breath with the letter La along with the region of earth which from the foot to the knees, and contemplating upon Brahma with four faces and four mouths and of a golden color. One should perform dharana there for a period of 2 hours. He then attains mastery over the earth. Death does not trouble him since he has obtained mastery over the earth element. The region of apas is said to extend from the knees to the anus. Apas is semi-lunar in shape and white in color and has Va for its bija seed letter, carrying up the breath with the letter Va along the region of apas. He should contemplate on the god Narayana having four arms and a crowned head as being of the color of pure crystal, as dressed in orange clothes and as decayless, and practicing dharana there for a period of 2 hours. He is freed from all sins. Then there is no fear for him from water, and he does not meet his death in water. From the anus to the heart is said to be the region of Agni. Agni is triangular in shape, of red color, and has the letter Ra for its bija seed. Raising the breath made resplendent through the letter Ra along the region of fire. He should contemplate on Rudra, who has three eyes, who grants all wishes, who is of the color of the midday sun, who is daubed all over with holy ashes, and who is of a pleased countenance. Practicing dharana there for a period of 2 hours, he is not burnt by fire alone. Through his body enters the though his body enters the fire pit, from the heart to the middle of the eyebrows is said to be the region of Vayu. Vayu is hexangular in shape, black in color, and shines with the letter Ya, Ya, carrying the breath along the region of Vayu. He should contemplate on Ishvara, the omniscient, as possessing faces on all sides, and practicing dharana therefore 2 hours. He enters Vayu and then Akas. The yogi does not meet his death through the fear of Vayu. From the center of the eyebrows to the top of the head is said to be the region of Akas, is circular in shape, smoky in color, and shining with the letter HA. Raising the breath along the region of Akas, he should contemplate on Sadasiva in the following manner: as producing happiness, as of the shape of Bindu, as the great Deva, as having the shape of Akas, as shining like pure crystal, as wearing the rising crescent of moon on his head, as having 5 faces, 10 heads, and 3 eyes, as being of a pleased countenance, as armed with all weapons, as adorned with all ornaments, as having Uma, the goddess, in one half of his body, as ready to grant favors, and as the cause of all the causes. By practicing dharana in the region of Akash, he obtains certainly the power of levitating in the Akash ether. Wherever he stays, he enjoys supreme bliss. The proficient in yoga should practice these 5 dharanas. Then his body becomes strong and he does not know death. That great-minded man does not die even during the deluge of Brahma. Then he should practice dharana for a period of 6 ghatikas, 2 hours 24 minutes, restraining the breath in the region of Akash and contemplating on the deity who grants his wishes. This is said to be Saguna Dhyana, capable of giving the siddhis, anima, etc. One who is engaged in nirguna dhyana attains the stage of samadhi. Within 12 days at least, he attains the stage of samadhi. Restraining his breath, the wise one becomes an emancipated person. Samadhi is that state in which the Jivatma, lower self, and the Paramatma, higher self, are differenceless or of equal state. If he desires to lay aside his body, he can do so. He will become absorbed in Parabrahma and does not require Utkranti, going out or up. But if he does not so desire, and if his body is dear to him, he lives in all the worlds, possessing the siddhis of anima, etc. Sometimes he becomes a deva and lives honored in Swarga, or he becomes a man or an yaksha through his will. He can also take the form of a lion, tiger, elephant, or horse through his own will. The yogi, becoming the great Lord, can live as long as he likes. There is difference only in the modes of procedure, but the result is the same. Place the left heel pressed on the anus, stretch the right leg and hold it firmly with both hands. Place the head on the breast and inhale the air slowly. Restrain the breath as long as you can and then slowly breathe out. After practicing it with the left foot, practice it with the right. Place the foot that was stretched before on the thigh. This is Mahabandha and should be practiced on both sides. The yogi sitting in Mahabandha and having inhaled the air with intent mind should stop the course of Vayu inside by means of the throat mudra and occupying the two sides of the throat with speed. This is called Mahavedha and is frequently practiced by the Siddhas with the tongue thrust into the interior cavity of the head or throat and with the eyes intent on the spot between the eyebrows. This is called the Khechri Mudra, contracting the muscles of the neck and placing the head with a firm will on the breast. This is called the Jalandhara Bandha and is a line to the elephant of death. That is Bandha by which prana flies through Susmana is called Udyan Bandha by the yogins, pressing the heel firmly against the anus, contracting the anus and drawing up the apana. This is said to be Yoni Bandha. Through Mula Bandha, Prana and Apana as well as Nada and Bindu are united and gives success in yoga. There is no doubt about this. To one practicing in a reversed manner or on both sides, which destroys all diseases, the gastric fire is increased. Therefore, a practitioner should collect a large quantity of provisions, for if he takes a small quantity of food, the fire within will consume his body in a moment. On the first day, he should stand on his head with the feet raised up for a moment. He should increase this period gradually every day. Wrinkles and grayness of hair will disappear within 3 months. He who practices only for a period of a yama 24 minutes every day conquers time. He who practices Vajroli becomes a yogi and the repository of all siddhis. If the yoga siddhis are ever to be attained, he only has them within his reach. He knows the past and the future and certainly moves in the air. He who drinks of the nectar thus is rendered immortal day by day. He should daily practice Vajroli. Then it is called Amroli. Then he obtains the Raja Yoga and certainly he does not meet with with obstacles. When a yogi fulfills his action by Raja Yoga, then he certainly obtains discrimination and indifference to objects. Vishnu, the great yogi, the grand one of a great austerities and the most excellent Purusha, is seen as a lamp in the path of truth. That breast from which one suckled before in his previous birth, he now possesses in love and obtains pleasure. He enjoys the same genital organ from which he was born before. She who was once his mother will now be wife, and she who is now wife is or will be verily mother. He who is now father will be again son, and he who is now son will be again father. Thus are the egos of this world wandering in the womb of birth and death like a bucket in the wheel of a well and enjoying the words. There are the three words, three Vedas, three Sandhyas, morning, noon, and evening. Three Savras, sounds, three Agnis, and Gunas. And all these are placed in the three letters Om. He who understands that which is indestructible and is the meaning of the three Om, by him are all these words strung. This is the truth. The supreme seat, as the smell in the flower, as the ghee in the milk, as the oil in the gingerly seed, and as the gold in the quartz, so is the lotus situated in the heart. Its face is downwards and its stem upwards. Its lotus becomes expanded by the letter U. It becomes split or opened by the letter M. It obtains nada, and the Ardhatma half meter is silence. The person engaged in yoga obtains the supreme seat, which is like a pure crystal, which is without parts and which destroys all sins. As a tortoise draws its hands and head within itself, so drawing in air thus and expelling it through the nine holes of the body, he breathes upwards and forwards like a lamp in an airtight jar, which is motionless, so that which is seen motionless through the process of yoga in the heart, and which is free from turmoil after having been drawn from the nine holes, is said to be Atma alone. So the description of the Upanishad is completed, and hence thereby this video is also complete. Thank you for watching this video. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you.